The night was enveloped in a haunting darkness as Emily embarked on her journey to reach her family's countryside estate. She had underestimated the distance and found herself driving alone on a desolate, winding road that seemed to stretch endlessly into the eerie abyss. The dense forest on both sides of the road cast sinister shadows, and the occasional hooting of an owl sent shivers down her spine. But Emily kept reassuring herself that she would be safe as long as she stayed on the main road. As she continued driving, the soft glow of the car's headlights became her sole comfort. Time seemed to lose its meaning in the solitude of that forsaken path. Suddenly, the headlights flickered, casting a brief moment of darkness before illuminating the road again. Emily's heart raced, but she dismissed it as a minor technical glitch. Yet it happened again, and this time the headlights stayed off for a moment longer, plunging her into absolute darkness. Panic surged through Emily as she tried to steer the car blindly. Just when she thought she was doomed, the headlights flickered back to life, but something felt off. The surroundings seemed different, and Emily couldn't shake the feeling that she had somehow ended up on an alternate path. She decided to find the nearest town or gas station to ask for directions. After driving for what felt like an eternity, she finally spotted a flickering light ahead. Relieved, she drove towards it, hoping for some assistance. As she approached, she realized it was an old, dilapidated gas station that looked abandoned for years. She hesitated but had no choice but to stop for help. The creaking of the door echoed through the empty station as Emily cautiously entered. The place was eerily silent, and a cold draft swept through, making her shiver. She called out for anyone who might be there, but her voice only seemed to bounce off the walls and disappear into the darkness. Feeling uneasy, she decided to leave and continue driving. However, the moment she stepped outside, the night seemed to grow darker and colder. Emily's heart pounded in her chest as she looked around, only to find the gas station fading away as if it never existed. Fear gripped her as she got back into her car. The road ahead was now completely engulfed in darkness. Trying to remain composed, she accelerated, desperate to escape the sinister path she found herself on. Time passed, but the road showed no signs of ending. Emily felt trapped in a nightmarish loop, driving endlessly through a never-ending void. The fear in her heart reached its peak when she saw a figure in her rearview mirror, lurking in the darkness behind her car. As she sped up, the figure seemed to gain on her. Her mind raced with thoughts of escaping this nightmare, but her tires screeched on the never-ending road, leaving no trace of her escape. The figure drew closer, and Emily could now see its haunting, hollow eyes that seemed to stare into her very soul. Desperation took over, and Emily made a daring attempt to escape into the woods on the side of the road. The car's wheels tore through the underbrush, but the dark woods seemed to consume her, leaving her even more disoriented. With no other choice, she returned to the road only to find that the figure was now standing in front of her, blocking her way. Its ghoulish form emanated an aura of malevolence that made Emily's blood run cold. Paralyzed with terror, Emily stared at the figure, unable to move or even breathe. The figure slowly reached out towards her, and as its icy fingers made contact with her skin, the world around her disintegrated into darkness. The next morning, a search party found Emily's abandoned car by the side of the road. No sign of her was ever discovered, and her disappearance became another unsolved mystery. Some say the desolate road still haunts those who dare to drive on it at night, a never-ending nightmare that traps lost souls, like Emily, forever. Subscribe Shadowy Shivers for more horror stories and contents.